Alright, hope everybody's having a good one. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator with the one and only Cookie Pirate. Today, we're going to be going from Augusta, Georgia to Hilton Head, South Carolina. It's a route that I've done several times, but tonight something's going to be a little bit different. Not only are we going at nighttime, but we're also going in some rough weather. So this is going to be an IFR flight. We're going to do GPS direct, but we are going to rely on instruments. That's going to take a little bit different kind of planning than we would normally do. Let's go ahead and get loaded in. And on this page, that I'll bring up in just a second, we'll take a look at the map and some charts that we need to know. So, the weather's not terrible, but we have minimal VFR with a ceiling. Actually, the ceiling's 7,000, but it's raining, so there's only 4 miles of visibility. So we actually don't have to use any standard instrument departure, or SID. But what we do need to do is know our takeoff minimums. So what we'll do is scroll down and find the airport. Here it is right here. We need to look at this. So we'll probably take runway 17 since we're going southbound and the wind is favoring it. What that means, we just have to have a ceiling of 200 feet, which we have, 1.5, or standard, which is really like nothing. Minimum climb of 268 feet per nautical mile to 500 feet. And then we're fine to, like, climb heading 172. That's runway heading to 900 before turning left. So basically 800 feet above the ground, and then we can turn left. So nothing too fancy, but we just need to plan for that. Going into Hilton Head, the weather's actually good, but it may not be because of storms. And we will still probably plan on one of the GPS approaches. The wind is variable at 6. So we'll just wait to see until we get a little closer what we would decide. Well, that wasn't supposed to. I just like this. I'm gonna play that song again, actually. I like it. First time I've really spent time listening to it. But let's go ahead and go back in. And it is raining. Low visibility, maybe misting. Oh yeah, it is. That looks so cool at night. That's my home airport. Well, not like in the town that I live in, but it's the closest major airport to me, and it's where I work, so hey, I love it. Alright, let me go ahead and pull the checklist up. Now, all of that's going to be the same. Our procedures going out and stuff, it's just a matter of what rules we're going to use to fly. Alright, real quick, parking brake is set. Fuel selector is set to normal. Power is idle. Alternate air is closed. Electric master is off. Avionics are off, essential bus is off, engine master is off and covered, fuel pumps are off, the voter switch is auto. All light switches are off, ELT is armed, the emergency switch is off and guarded. Circuit breakers are in, flap selector is up, pitot heat is off, the fuel transfer is off, fuel, passengers, and cargo are loaded. Electric master on. And we can turn down the brightness on these screens if we have to. AHRS alignment, we'll wait for that to check. We can turn this on here. Cockpit, flood, and instrument lights. We're gonna leave the cockpit lights off. Ooh. We'll have those on all the way. Honestly, don't need much with the floodlights, and what I would like to do is try to figure a way to turn the brightness of these down. I'm actually not really sure how to do that, if it's even possible, in the sim. Ah! Alright, let's do this here.
No, there ain't no stopping now. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar.
There's gotta be some way to turn the brightness of that down.
Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross.
Well, if there is, yeah, we'll have to figure it out. Alright, rain coming in and all and whatnot. I do want to look that up though, to see if there's a way to make those screens a little bit less bright here. Kind of just looking around through some stuff. Anyway, we won't worry about it for right now. Flight controls, rudder is good. Elevator is good. Ailerons are good. Let's get back in the cockpit. Radios, G1000, MFD, fuel quantity, we're good. Fuel temperature, well, it's that oil temperature's up there. Pressure is 0. Moment. Total time in service, I believe, was 13.3. Yep, checks out. Real quick again, power lever. Idle. Good. Can turn our strobe lights on. Get ready to clear the, clear the prop area. Turn the engine master on and guard it back. Wait for the glow to clear and we'll get the engine started. Alright, it is clear. Let's start. Clear! Okay, engine is running. Oil pressure is in the green. All those look good. Voltage and electrical load look good. The amps are going to be a little lower because of the use of the different lights. Check with the pitot heat. Comes down. Avionics on. Alright, let's do a quick set. Flight plan is entered into the GPS, so there is quite a bit of rain around here. And then I think it does clear up a bit to the southeast. Altitude, we're cruising at 9,000 feet tonight. FLC, and we'll set that to 88. Altimeter 2989, and the elevation checks out. CDI is set to GPS, our speed is 88. Alright, next. What did I just hit? Did I... Oh, there we go. Position lights on. And we need to check flap travel. Flaps at half. Fall. Back up. Back down to half for taxi, and that looks good. Altimeters are set again. Artificial horizon is set. Transponder needs to go to altitude mode, and we would normally get some sort of a code. So I'm just gonna leave it on VFR since we're not talking to ATC at the moment. Engine temperatures are looking okay. Oh, that goes right. Alright, and we'll release the park and brake, and we're ready to taxi. And I'll check in a bit to see if we can figure out a way to get the... Alright. Clear. Up ahead. Just go like right under that plane's tail. It's a little tougher to see over here. Come up a little ways. Just kind of want to stay out of the way over here. Ah, he just drove right through the wing. Here's the way that we want to go. So we're going up to runway 17. Alright, we're taxiing out. It's going to be a left turn on Alpha. We're going up to Alpha 1 to runway 17. So one thing in the real world, they do not have taxiway center lines. Or taxiway centerline lights, I should say. But kind of nice to have in the simulator. Makes it a little easier to see. Excessive taxi speed? Oh yeah, we're doing 31 on the ground. The RPMs seem to get high again there. Coming up on the turn there, yeah. I didn't follow the center line quite like I should. But that's alright. Okay. Alright, set the parking brake, run through a before takeoff checklist. Parking brake is set. Trim is at takeoff. Flaps are set to takeoff. Flight controls will check. Rudder, ailerons, elevator, all good. We're not at 826. That sign is error. We're short of runway 17. Engine instruments all look good to me. We have the fuel. Landing light on, taxi light off. Transponders checked, altitude mode. Runway 17 we have identified, and parking brake release. Alright, we're going to line up on the runway. We're going to fly out runway heading to 900 feet, and then we can make a left turn to get on course. Where are the runway lines? Here we go. Okay. Alright, we'll rotate at 69 knots. We will lift up at, in the low 70s, and we'll climb out, pitch for 80, and then at 900 feet we'll engage the autopilot, the FLC. Our engine instruments are looking good. Airspeed is alive. There's 69, we're up at 70. Alright, we have positive rate of climb. Flaps up. Climb out a little bit faster there. Take a look at that. That's pretty. Getting blown just a little bit here. Climbing out right at that good 80 knots. 81, 82. Couple hundred feet to go. Looking for 900. Oh, there it is. A little bit of a bump there. Autopilot is engaged. And we can actually engage the nav mode, and it should turn to it. Alright, let's check, verify flaps are up. Climb power we can, it was about 95%, sitting at 96. Fuel pumps, I forgot to turn the fuel pump on. Oh well, not a big deal. We can turn the landing light off. And I think we can turn the floodlights off. And actually, it looks like the... Well, it almost seems like this may have dimmed automatically, which is kind of nice. If it did, that's super handy. Take a look outside. Not much to see over here. There's the airport, but I mean, with the clouds, you can... can't even see too much. We're at 95. Climbing to 9,000 feet, we're relying on our instruments. Now we can't see anything. Welcome to nighttime flying. I mean, even in good weather, you probably wouldn't be able to pick up a whole lot in some of these more rural areas. But considering it is night and not very good weather, it's gonna be a little bit tricky. But the good news is it does look like it clears up. If we take a look at this screen and we check our... it clears up over toward the coast. So actually, we should have some pretty good weather when we get into Hilton Head, as long as this doesn't like pop up and have stuff come over here. I don't know. Nav lights and strobe lights are on. You can't even see with the landing lights. I have all these little dots popping up and landmarks, and I can't even tell where they are in reference to anything. There's probably not going to be a whole lot to do between now and when we get to our descent. It's kind of going to be a kind of kick back and relax. And yeah, checking the weather, there's really not much. Yeah, so yeah, it looks good as we move toward the coast. I don't think we're going to have weather to worry about down there. It's mainly just getting out of here. We should be fine. You can even turn that down, actually. I have no clue what happened there. Engine power just suddenly, like, jumped. And we're above the weather because I see stars now. Oh, look at that. Wow. That's actually pretty cool. And it's not even, like, totally nighttime yet. It's still traces of twilight. Wow. That's cool. That's impressive. Now we're gonna be passing through some clouds up ahead. Perhaps a little bit more precipitation. Alright, there we are. We've reached our cruise altitude, 9,000 feet. Don't think we need to run the fuel transfer just yet. Looking back at the checklist, the only other thing we need to do is just check the engine. It's all look good to me. And we have a direct crosswind, so not going to be really any of a headwind to slow us down or a tailwind to speed us up. So we'll go ahead and pull back on the power. It's about 75% power. There we are. And it looks like we'll be doing about 140. It's going to slow down. It's going to bleed a little bit of airspeed. And we'll probably end up doing about 140 over the ground. And it's going to probably be, say, about 30. It's going to end up just kind of leveling out at about 33 minutes en route. I would say in terms of like slowing down, I would say let's plan on a 37 to 40 minute flight. Let's see if we get some updated weather at our destination. We may be too far away for it. Yeah, still a little too far, so we'll just have to wait until we get a bit closer. But we'll pull the power, pull the weather up, and we'll see. Ooh, excuse me, hiccup. And we will see what the wind is favoring. Make a determination of what runway we'll go in on. And we'll consider, we'll probably do one of the RNAV approaches, although there's the possibility that we could do just a visual approach. At nighttime it gets a little bit tougher. Instrument approach will probably add a few minutes to our flight time, depending on how far out we have to go to pick up the approach fixes and such. Right now I don't think we have to worry about it much. So at 140, right at 140 over the ground in fact. And that's kind of cool because we can see a couple highways. We're going to be going through a couple clouds up ahead. Although maybe not. Maybe it's all past us now. Yeah, as you can see, it's starting to darken. That's cool. Just the silhouette of the plane on the night sky. Well, on the twilight sky, I should say. So, yeah. I mean, admittedly, there's not as much to look at, of course, at night and when you're flying through rough weather. It's just a little different perspective, though. But what we can do is talk about the airplane and maybe some procedures along our flight. So, actually, since we're instrument focused tonight, I'm gonna explain the G1000 by Garmin. It basically took, you know, you've probably seen older planes with all of these dials, and these are pretty modern. These were fairly new when I started flying 15 years ago or so. But it's cool because now you have one screen with all of your information with, you know, in digital format. And if you take a look, I can show you how it used to look. Back before, they had these like synthetic vision where you actually see the land, the terrain, and everything like that. It used to be just that. Kind of like your typical indicator up here. Because you have, if you turn the lights all the way up, you have green on the bottom, or green, brown on the bottom for land, and blue on the top for air, sky. And this synthetic stuff is really cool, this synthetic vision. Because now you just hit that button, and it comes up with your terrain. And that gets really helpful when you're in the mountains. The only thing I wish, and I think there is a way to do it, but I'm not sure, maybe there isn't in the sim, is to get the terrain to show up on the map like that, where you have it changed color. So speaking of, you go to map options. Now you can look at topographic. A lot of people use that. It's kind of user preference. A lot of people will use the topographic just so they can they can have the green land, like along with the synthetic. And there isn't as much, like, as strong of a contrast. I like this, particularly when you're operating, and some people will switch. When you're operating closer to the ground, it changes color. If it's green, it is between 1 and 2,000 feet below you. If it's black, you're more than 2,000 feet above it. If it's green, you're 1 to 2,000 feet above it. If it turns yellow, you are less than 1,000 feet above it. And if it turns red, it is above you. So in mountainous areas, or where you're getting ready to land, like if you're in a valley and there's hills around or something, that can kind of become a useful feature to have. I think if you've watched my Alaska flights, we've done some mountain flying, you can see as we descend where you start to see a lot of that yellow and red, and you'll see valleys in green and black, and that kind of helps lead the way, so to speak, when you're on a descent into the airport. Where the terrain is really flat, like out here, you're not going to get much value out of it. But in mountainous terrain, that stuff is insanely helpful. The other thing, this next rad, this is the green and yellow on here, is the weather. You can turn it off, and now you don't see it. But now you see the weather. Basically rain. And I think it would pick up snow and other stuff like that. You can navigate different ways. You can set flight plans, you can set you know, direct points and everything. I'm not super familiar with how to do all of this. So generally in the simulator, I just load up a, you know, I just load up a route and it's done already in that. And I actually haven't really used it to set up more detailed flight plans in the real world. Procedures, I've used that a fair bit. It lets you bring up arrival and departure procedures when you're going in. This is the direct button. So we pulled it up and it says we're going direct to Hilton Head. Flight plan to view the previous. Yeah, there we go. So we're about a third of the way there. Maybe even more than a third. We're not quite halfway. Some other things. These are all radio stuff. Passenger address system. Radio stuff. Since we don't really use ATC in this, that isn't something that we... And since we're not in the in a real plane with real people on different channels and headsets and such, we don't have to worry too much about it. We'll run the fuel transfer in a couple minutes. So take a look outside. You can see some roads. I don't know where a lot of this actually is. $139 on the ground. So yeah, I guess we just sit back and relax and enjoy the flight. I know it's kind of a cliche, but that's what we're doing for the next few minutes until it's time to start our descent into Hilton Head. Display back up. Oh, that's what that does, is it duplicates the screen on each pilot's side. And you can actually pull up a map within just to have a smaller, like, detailed area. You turn that off, the secondary screen comes back. We're going through a little bit of turbulence up here, it looks like. And now we have a 1 knot headwind. We have a 7 knot crosswind. And yeah, we're starting to get kind of rocked a little bit. This is light turbulence. It's nothing really that we need to worry about. Let's see if we can pick some weather up at Hilton Head yet. And we are just past the halfway mark. Yes, 05... 0055. So that was as of 20... Right about 20 minutes ago. The wind was variable at 3. 10 miles, visibility, sky clear, that is good. So that means we actually may be able to do a visual to either runway, or we can choose our approach. So what we'll go ahead and do is bring the chart over onto the screen. Alright, so here we are going to Hilton Head. In fact, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to reset this. XD. So we just want the track in place. What we'll do is right-click, mouse over, and we can bring up either of these charts. I don't think we're going to do the localizer approach. That has us turning way out over here. We don't have radar. I don't think. I'm pretty sure we don't. So RNAV runway 3. Hondo, which would be kind of down here. Gorge would be down here, so we'd be flying past the airport further out to do that. If we chose to do the runway 21 RNAV approach. Jam, which would be here. So that would be more of a split off and over. But if we go to Fuma, that's kind of up here. That's a bit out of the way as well. Now we could set a GPS track. Maybe we'll do that. So what we'll do is jam as the final approach fix. And we'll just fly out this way and set a course to intercept that point. So let's go back to the simulator here. Where we're still getting bumped around a little bit. We have 16 minutes en route at this speed here, and we descended 1,000 feet per minute. We'll need to go down, I believe, to 1,800. Yes. So there was an altitude there. So we'll cross the final approach fix at 1,800. We'd intercept a few miles away from there. It's 8 miles, and this is 1,900. So yeah, we can set the we can go down to 1,800. We're not going to descend yet. And why we set this ahead of time, but the plane doesn't descend, is because our altitude hold is on. If we engage the FLC to maintain a speed to descend or a set vertical speed, the altitude hold will kick off. But as long as this is on, we will not descend. And we would not climb if we changed it to an altitude that was higher. So what we want to do right now procedure, select approach. We're going to do the RNAV GPS-21 LPV, which gives us the lowest possible descent rate. This will let us get 322 feet above the ground. And for whatever reason, they have LNAV VNAV, which lets us get even lower. Down to 275 feet. Which is actually really good. And we'll set vectors. We're not going all the way out to Fuma. Minimums we'll set to 340 feet. And we load. Now, if we zoom in, here's Fuma, so what we would do is fly to about here. So let's just set a heading. That would put us in between the two, and it looks like a heading of 130. Because 134 will take us right there. Now, we can fine-tune as we get a little bit closer in. 12 minutes to go. If we're descending at 1,000 feet per minute, it'll take us about 7 minutes to descend. I think we're somewhere close to the interstate. Low fuel. Oh, you know what? That's why. Forgot to do that. I even said we'll do the fuel transfer a little later, and then I forgot. We'll let that run for a few minutes, and then when we're done, we'll go ahead and cut it off. Real quick look outside. We're gonna fly directly over the Ridgeland Airport. And, oh, yeah, this is where the interstate goes. Right out here. Zoom in and take a look at that. I believe that's Beaufort Marine Corps Air Station. We can see Hilton Head. That's the city of Savannah. And Savannah International, I'm looking... Oh, that's so cool. Look at that. You can even see, like, what's on our screen. Haha. I believe this is Savannah Airport right there. And then this is the city of Savannah over here. That looks so cool, though. Wow. And they're wearing sunglasses at night. Don't get that. Take them off. I don't know why I find that so funny. I'm almost in tears laughing so hard right now. Maybe because the screens are so bright. Oh, Lord. This up here may be Charleston. I think that may be too far away. It may not be. Now that I think about it, though. I'm not sure. Alright, 120 is what we'll fly. So we will actually go ahead and set heading mode. So we're not going to go GPS track now. And this is going to take us off course a little bit. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a wind shift, actually. Alright, we can fine-tune. And 7 minutes, let's go ahead and... Tell you what, let's go ahead and actually activate vectors since we've broken off our GPS track. And we are heading to Jam, and it says 18 miles. 7 minutes to reach, and we need to be at 1,800. So let's go ahead and we can still run the auxiliary pump or the fuel transfer pump. Some planes I think it's called the auxiliary pump or something like that. I don't know why I thought of that. Maybe I'm just looking at something somewhere that had that word. Alright, anyway, let's go ahead and start the descent. Leave FLC mode on and we'll just pull back on the power. And we'll pitch with the throttle for constant speed descent here, 120 knots. Run through the descent checklist. We have our landing data. Let's just double check the weather, make sure it hasn't changed substantially. I don't think it will have. Variable at 5. So it actually did update. Variable at 5. Still looks really good. Altimeter is set. We're just going to turn this to 2995. There we go. Even though it's probably 2994 where we're at, it's 2995 at Hilton Head. We need that set for the approach. So here we go, continuing to descend, and we're getting pushed by the wind slightly. We need to bring the power back because we're not descending fast enough. We need to have about 1,000 foot per minute descent. We can go ahead and turn the fuel transfer off. Oh, that's why, because you mouse over at auxiliary tank transfer. I knew I was crazy when I said that word. Alright, other things, we have our altimeter set. We don't need to worry comm and nav, but we do have the FMSs set. Fuel transfer, we're okay. Parking brake is confirmed released. go ahead and turn the fuel pump on. Turn a landing light on too. It's a little early, but we may as well have them just in case. Descent / approach. So maybe these are more descent items. Maybe they're more approach items. So the approach would be like when we're established on final, but before landing has set for downwind and base legs. So I have a feeling approach would be just kind of in our current phase of flight, maybe just a little bit later. But we're probably okay. Continue coming down here. Four minutes and we still have to drop about 4,500 feet. So let's pull back even a little bit more on the power. Just get a slightly steeper descent. There's Beaufort Marine Corps Air Station. I think that light on the background out there actually may be Charleston, now that I'm thinking about it. Savannah's right over there. There's Hilton Head. I see the airport and I see Highway 278, which is the main highway around the island and going over to it. I think maybe we can go ahead and turn. We'll fly this way and we're probably going to continue to get pushed a little bit. And we're going to start slowing down because what we don't want to do is be too fast on final. We did that earlier flying into Santa Catalina over in California. And the problem with that is you're too fast, you can't get slowed down to a safe landing speed, so we had to go around. I don't want to have to do that here. Go missed. So I'm going to pull the power completely back, and I'm going to use this to reduce our airspeed that we're pitching for. And I hope slowing down to 110 we can keep about 1,000 foot per minute descent. I have the airport in sight, but I do want to do this RNAV approach. Yeah, I think what we're going for right here is good. In fact, we can add a little power in to slow the descent as we're still a couple miles.
Just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to.
This is good because we'll actually get down to altitude and be able to level off, which will help us bleed any extra airspeed that we have.
Let's go back to when trees were swung. Kids across the
Go ahead and zoom in on this a bit. 5 miles, I think is good. We have to add a little power in. Just to maintain our altitude here, and we can slow to about 100. Now we're gonna just start establishing a little bit of a turn. Our GPS track is 214, so we really want to get swung all the way to about a 180. 190 even. If we fly to 190, we'll pick this track up in just a moment here. Let's add a little power, and I think we're going a little slower than we want to be right now. I wanted to go for about 100. Now what we're going to do is choose nav on our... Okay, we can pull back on the power a bit. Pull back on the power. There's the airport. We see it. We've got good weather coming in. And I think what I want to do is actually turn approach mode on. And we're going to get the glide path. And I'm hoping what this will do is actually lower the nose for us when we intercept this glide path. We've got a strong wind over here coming in, so I think actually picking 2-1 may have been the right choice. The wind is variable, but it doesn't give us a direction, so if it is out of the southwest, we made the right choice. If we look over the nose, we're kind of cheating by looking outside and seeing the airport. I mean, we aren't really, because we could do a visual approach. Are we following the GPS track? Yes, we are. Excellent. Now we're going to let this control our approach rate. So what we're going to do is some final items real quick. Let's just run through a couple things. Fuel pump is on, landing light is on. Let's go ahead and bring flaps down to half. What we'll do, that'll steepen our approach. It'll slow us down. We will just add some power in, but this is actually tracking the glide slope for us, which is really good. We're still a little bit fast, so we can actually come back on the power. Little bumpy there. Says about 2.5 miles to go to the missed approach point, which is just before the runway. Alright, let's go full flaps. Add a little bit of power in. Wind is starting to come down just a little. That looks pretty good. Pitch black over there. That's the ocean. Wow. Alright, our decision height is 340. We need to slow down. Let's just bring the power out completely for a moment. We'll add it back in. Get slowed down here. Alright, we can continue the approach. We'll disconnect the autopilot. 200 feet, we're stable. And we are continuing on the approach. And now, yeah, the wind has lit up just a little bit. Night landings are always a little bit tougher because of your vision, your depth perception being worse at night. Man, we're getting bumped around a bit. Holy cow. Take the power out. We're okay. Over the runway. Transition to visual flight. We're 2 and 2. 2 red, 2 white on the Pappy. Off center just a little bit here. Let's try to get just corrected just a little bit there. We're on the ground. Not bad. Alright. That's a lot tougher to see. You can go idle on the power. And we actually touched down with a little bit of power in. Let's get on the brakes and make this turn right here. We'll have a very short taxi and going off of here. That's really nice. Alright, flaps up. Fuel pump off. And yeah, we can actually just taxi over this way. Landing light off, taxi light on. Yeah, they left a couple cones in our way. Run them over. Can't tell if that's an ambulance or a maintenance truck. Alright, we are good to park right there. Okay, parking brake set. And we're ready for the shutdown checklist. Welcome to Hilton Head Island, folks. Flaps up, pitot heat was not on. Fuel pumps are off, alternate air is closed. Taxi light on, landing light off. Transponder standby. Guess we can set that now. Parking brake set, engine below 10% per minute. ELT is armed. Total time in service, it was 13.3. It is 14.2, so 50 something minutes in the air. Or, total, like, engine time. It's probably about a 46-minute flight in the air, I believe it was. Avionics master off. Taxi lights come off. Engine master off. Oh, 50 minutes. Okay. That was pretty close. 50 minutes. Not bad. And there is the engine stop. Very good. We'll clear that there. Floodlights are off. Instrument lights will turn off. Nav lights, strobe lights off. And we are good to go ahead, close that, cover it up, and turn the electric master off. Alright, we're on the ground at Hilton Head. End of our night flight. Weather's a lot better here than where it was when we took off, but hey, get to do some night flying, it's kind of fun. Alright, that's it for me for today, folks. Thanks for flying along. Hope to catch you aboard the next one. And until then, take care, stay safe. We'll see ya.